evening. We hope everyone had a great holiday season. We would like to call to order the January 6th regular meeting of the Willoughby Eastlake City Schools Board of Education. This meeting is being held in accordance with Section 3313.15 of the Ohio Revised Code. Mrs. Erdani, will you please call the roll?
Ms. Fair?
Here.
Ms. Miller?
Here.
Ms. Verdi?
Here.
Ms. Schatzman?
Here.
Ms. Munzer?
Here. Please join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We would like to welcome everyone to our meeting this evening. To ensure everyone is aware of the way these meetings operate, we want to share the following. Prior to this evening, each board member has received for their review and consideration the agenda and materials associated with each agenda item for the board's approval. Board members can discuss the items with the superintendent and treasurer. Board members are not permitted per Ohio Meetings Act and Sunshine Laws to conduct conversations regarding board business outside of a public meeting. Tonight will be the first time the board can conduct conversations as a whole regarding the items on the agenda. Board meeting agendas are always available through the district's website for public viewing prior to the board meeting. Community members can always email the board with questions or come and participate in the public comment portion of our meeting. Public comment provides an opportunity for the community to address the school board directly. In order to participate in public comments, participants would sign up before the meeting. When signing up, you are provided a copy of our public participation policy. Participants are asked to abide by those requirements. We will now move on to our agenda. Item 1A, Mrs. Erdani.
We have the approval on later in the agenda, but today at 3 p.m. we held our annual tax budget hearing. No attendance by the community, but that information, once approved, will go to the county auditors for their approval.
Thank you. We'll move on to the appointment of Treasurer Pro Temp. Do I hear a motion to appoint Mrs. Erdani as the Treasurer Pro Temp in accordance with Ohio Revised Code 3313.23 with the absence of Treasurer Charnello for the January 6, 2025 meeting?
Madam President, I motion to approve item 1E.
Do I hear a second?
Madam President, I'll second.
Discussion?
Just want to say congratulations to Mr. Charnello and his wife on their new addition.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Mrs. Erdani?
Ms. Fair?
Yes.
Ms. Miller?
Yes.
Ms. Verdi?
Yes.
Ms. Schatzman?
Yes.
Ms. Munzer?
Yes. Moving on to 1F, approval of agenda. Do I hear a motion to approve our agenda?
Madam President, I make a motion to approve our agenda.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Discussion? Mrs. Erdani?
Ms. Fair?
Yes.
Ms. Miller?
Yes.
Ms. Verdi?
Yes.
Ms. Schatzman?
Yes.
Ms. Munzer?
Yes. Next up is the election of the Board of Education President to one-year term.
I would like to nominate Stacy Menser. And my reason is I think she's done an excellent job, and just to continue the continuity that we've had so many changes, and I just think it just makes sense to keep doing a good thing. So thank you so much for your service. Really have appreciated it. It's been really smooth here, and you've done a good job and have really had good leadership.
Do we need a motion in a second?
We do that when we,
I think we need a motion in a second to discuss it, right?
Because it's an action item.
I think we need the discussion still counts, but I think we should motion in second and then keep discussing and then vote,
Yes.
is my opinion.
that's fine. Do I hear a motion to discuss the Board of Education President for a one-year term?
I make a motion to approve 1G, election of the Board of Education President.
Do I hear a second?
Madam President, I second item 1G.
Now we can continue to discuss.
Okay, there we go.
Thank you, Mrs. Verdi, for the kind words, and I would be honored to continue in this role if that's what the vote happens.
So I wanted to add some thoughts. Everybody on the board knows me, and those that are present know me, and I have a thing in my home office that says, hold on a second, let me overthink this. So I put a lot of thought into, this is our last year, and in 2024, we had a lot of amazing work put forward and a lot of consistency and rapport built amongst all of us. And I think we are a model board for many, if not most, of Lake County school boards. And that didn't happen overnight, and it didn't happen by accident. There's a lot of great things ahead. And one thing that I've been thinking about, it is 2025, and this year, actually next year, in 2026, there's only one person who will be guaranteed to be on this board, and that'll be Mrs. Verdi. The rest of our seats are up for election. And with that being said, some of the things I've been considering is consistency versus change, and we are how to put this, we lead by example, and I think we've done a great job as a board systematizing how we govern and asking our administration to systematize so that when and if there is change, these systems prevail, and they're not people-driven, but rather system-driven. So one of the things that I thought about as a board member, especially going into 2025, is we're building systems of governance as a board, and in organizational modeling, there's A and B testing. A testing is you have a consistent control group where it's been tried and true. And then you have your B test, which is since you have an operating system that works well, you change a few variables to test it in lieu of the controls that existed before. And at the end of that test, it guarantees that what you have put forward does work, is sustainable. And oftentimes that requires cross-training of those in leadership roles, as well as transition and or transformation of leadership roles. So the reason why I was thinking about all this is because of the board framework. And we need to finalize it in 2025, potentially take action so that we can set a sustainable model by which future boards, which hopefully remains very similar to this one, that's not a guarantee, have a model by which to work by, to be held accountable to, and allows administration and board to continue moving forward regardless of who sits in these seats. So from that perspective, between change and consistency, we've had 2 years of consistency, which, by the way, my thoughts have no bearing on the existing leadership's ability to do what you've done well. I think one of the 5 of us could easily do the role well, president or vice president, because we function so well as a dynamic group.
I 100% second that we could all
Yeah.
do the job, and I don't
It's-
think any of our egos are what this is about. It's like what's best for the board, right?
So in my thinking today is we're in an extremely healthy, smart space to take some opportunity to change and stress test what we've put in place with a draft board framework. And I was thinking that if there were slight changes in the leadership structure, it would allow those that have led to reflect on the structure and then provide feedback from the outside, which is extremely valuable, as well as to cross-train and provide an opportunity for other people to take on the role. And if you have 4 people who dynamically know what both sides of being led and leading look like, it allows the board to be more agile, more proactive, and a lot more dynamic in the work that we do. So those were some of the things that I was thinking about today, is we have an amazing opportunity. Because I think what we've been trying to do is ensure that whether we are all here, or Dr. Ward is here, or Mr. Charnello is here, or any of our amazing administrators are here, then in the absence of those leaders, the systems prevail and the district still thrives. And that's really important to me, is that the district thrive. regardless of who sits in leadership, because if it doesn't, it's not a healthy system, and you have to test it to do that. So although your nomination for Stacy is a great nomination, it doesn't allow us that opportunity. So I just want to put that out there, that we need to consider that we ask of our community, our kids, and our staff to be open to change. And in that change, there's a lot of opportunity for growth. And I would like to consider growth on the board, as well as seeing if we have made the right decisions for how we govern as a body. And the only way to do that is to do an A/B test. We've done 2 years of an A test. Through a nomination of Jamie Schatzman, want to do a B test.
Did you just call me a bee?
Yeah. So I don't want to I don't want this to be a conflict, but at the same time, I want to have a conversation. And because we're a healthy board, I think we can do this very easily. We have a great opportunity to have consistency in having someone who's done the leadership role stay in the leadership role to keep continuity with the administration, and then backfill that with someone who's not had an opportunity. At the same time, Mrs. Menzer would have an opportunity to step back and say, I've driven, this is what I know to be true. Now I'm on the other side receiving and following, and it's working, it's not working, et cetera, which is a really unique perspective that we can't have if you stay in that position. So it's all organizationally just how I operate, and I think at the end of that, if Mrs. Schatzman were to be the president, we would have an opportunity to say, this works, it doesn't work, let's calibrate, let's take action. And then this time next year, whomever remains on the board or is on the board would have a working, tested, driven system that the community administrators and administration can hold the next governing body accountable to. So that's why I nominate Ms. Schatzman. Once again, it is not in any way, shape, or form a reflection of the deficiencies. You've done an amazing job. It's purely functional and reflective.
Are all eyes on me? I took notes. I didn't have everything memorized like you did. But first of all, being the newest member, I am still learning a lot about how we function and what we do and how we serve everyone. And I just have to say that I could not have felt more welcomed when I was chosen to be in this seat by everybody in the community, as well as these four ladies sitting here. It's been amazing. I'm excited. I think we're going to do great things. And I think a lot of the reason of that is each one of us brings something different to the table. I am so proud. When we were in Columbus, and I know I already said this, but I like to repeat myself, Jamie did an amazing job at her presentation with the legislation and really brought home all of the importance of having those strong relationships with our state legislatures and our local government officials. I am not good at that. I'm good at having relationships and socializing, but with legislatures, and you brought it down to my level, and you explained it well, and you knocked it out of the park with Nick, and I was so happy for that. Like, I was proud to be on our school board, because other districts were asking questions, like, well, how do you do this? How do you do this? And I thought that was really cool. And then when I was chosen, Stacy really did an amazing job helping me understand what my role would be. She start to finish, and she just wanted to make sure that I was comfortable. I'm still getting used to Stacy being president of our board. I think she's done an incredible job. I think it's important. I think about the fact that this is an election year, and four of us are going to be running a campaign potentially. And I think that I would rather have one change than like changing our president now and then another change when whoever is appointed or elected to the board. So where my mind goes with it is I would like to second Stacy continuing being the president of the board.
Well, this is a good, I think, example for the community of the fact that we can't talk about this outside of meetings. That is part of like the rules and the sunshine laws. So I don't even know. I have to turn to Stacy and ask her if she wants to still be president, and she would probably have to turn to me and ask the same thing because we haven't talked about that. So like, I just want to point that out, that that really is the limitation, and we really do our business in public, and you guys are watching it unfold firsthand. And so I think both of us are probably surprised to be in this position, and I think Stacy has done a phenomenal job. I love serving in the roles I've served in leadership. I would be happy to lead in any way that this board sees fit. And I'm assuming you feel
And-
the same way.
And I really want to add, the gifts that you both have is absolutely phenomenal. I'm so proud of both of you. I really am. You bring so much to the table, and you know, it's a hard fit. I'd be happy with either one of you. You know, it's hard to make that decision for me, but I value both of you so very much, and you know, I strive to be even, you know, half what you bring here. So thank you so much, both of you.
You're done.
Thank you.
I mean, and I honestly feel lucky to be a part of this. Like, it's very rewarding. I've only been here for a couple months, and it's very rewarding. I've learned a lot, and it's because of them, you know, helping me along the way. So it's been great. It really has been. I'm really proud to serve on our board, so.
Did I cut you off when you were going to talk?
No, I was just gonna say, like, so this is new, you haven't been here before, so we have to then take a vote, and we have to vote for both. And everybody has to say the name of the, like, we have to do a roll call.
Well, first we have to accept the nominations. So
Yeah.
do you accept yours?
Yes.
So I will decline mine, and we will vote on Stacy. Do you want to let her call?
Sure. Mrs. Ordani?
Ms. Fair?
Yes.
Ms. Miller?
Yes.
Ms. Verity?
Yes.
Ms. Schatzman?
Yes.
Ms. Menzer?
Yes.
5-0.
The next item on the agenda, do I hear a motion to elect the Board of Education Vice President to a one-year term?
I would like to make a motion to elect Jamie.
Thank you, Anne. Let's move for,
First
can
and
you move
second.
for
We
one
can't
each
talk yet.
first?
Oh.
And then do discussion, but I love that for me.
That's how much I love you, Jamie.
Okay, so I move to approve 1H. Do you want to second that?
Do I hear a second?
Can I second it?
I will second that.
Now the floor is open for discussion
it's
for
Gabe's.
nomination.
Gabe.
I'm still new. I'm still learning. This is my first election thing here going on. But anyways, I would like to nominate Jamie. Like I said before, I think she's done an incredible job in the role that she has. She's been amazing with our you know, being that in between, but for the legislation and bringing it back to our county or our school board. And I think she's great. I think she's a great leader.
I would second that as well.
Thank you.
For once, I get to be the scenting on everything. I'm just gonna say no, all of 25, because I did 21, no. I really think we have an opportunity to cross-train, and it's really important that we consider that the four of us will not all be here next year. As much as I love that Jamie and Stacy, once again, we've done great for 2 years. We have an opportunity here to provide experience in a way that Mrs. Verity hasn't had, and Gabe, you haven't had. I've already served as president. So, you know, I am happy with whomever is vice president. I just want to stop and pause for a second and say, I and Ms. Menzer lived through being on the board with an administration and we didn't know how to operate together. And that was an extremely stressful 6 months of onboarding. And if this time next year, by some weird twist of fate, all four of us lose our election, Denise, you'll be the only person here to be a conduit to the administration and new board members. And I have said it for the last year, 2 years, actually since I was on the board, we need to build proactive, continuous systems that are not dependent on people, but the system drives. So I just want to pause for a minute and say, I like to plan for worst-case scenario and ensure that Dr. Ward and Mr. Charnello this time next year have the most consistent transition regardless of what occurs, because we can't guarantee an election. As much as having Jamie on the board, and I, if you so choose to run, really hope that you would be reelected, but I can't guarantee that. I think we're missing an opportunity in not having either Gabe or Denise serve in the vice presidency role so that they can learn about it. So you can see how contradictory this is to like, hey, I want to
No,
be president.
I mean,
but not
no,
vice
I'm
president.
total. I'm totally open to it. I don't know if you, again, because of sunshine laws, none of us have talked about this.
Yeah.
So we don't even. Do you want to serve Denise? Do you want to serve Gabe?
Would either of
You will
be
not
I'm
hurt
just
my
getting
feelings.
used to being
You
on
will
the
not
board.
hurt my feelings if you say anything.
Okay, so you two have served together,
2 years?
you've served together for 2 years, is this?
Krista and Stacy served in 2022. It was Krista president, Stacy vice president. Then Stacy became the president, I became the vice president, and we've done that in 23 and 24, and now we're in 25.
And
I-
that's, oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I think that there have been a ton of changes with board members. The administration's just getting used to how to work with the board. I think we need to keep the momentum going that we have and keep consistency.
I mean, I feel honored that you would say that, and you know, I would be happy to do that. But I do agree with you, Stacy, as far as that there. And part of it is too is we have had such a huge transition, in even how we're doing. You know, this is a completely different transition. Even how we're doing business with the schools right now, and that's huge. We've taken on a huge undertaking. And there's been drastic changes that are taking place that everybody is just working hard to get used to right now. And I really would like to get to see where it's at right now with getting this year under our belt with all the changes that have taken place. That's why I feel that way.
One thing I would suggest, I mean, if you're not interested maybe in vice president, perhaps you might be more interested in getting involved in policy. Like that's something that Stacy and I have done together for several years. So like maybe that would help deepen your experience without necessarily the entire work of the vice president role, but then I could give up that and switch into, you know, a different position there. Might be unique insight. I don't know if that addresses some of what you were talking about, Krista, or if that's something you would even be interested in.
And it also, this might be a dumb question, but is there a way to shadow and just kind of be behind that position as you go
Yes and
along?
No.
No?
Because as soon as you get a third member of the board present, you create a quorum with a majority
Oh.
of the board, and therefore it has to be publicly noticed. So if you do have more than 2 present and doing the work of the board, you have to be very mindful on how you do that to not violate any Open Meetings Act laws.
Well-
But there is, to Krista's point, if we lose the election and Denise is the only one left, Jamie and or I separately can meet with Denise and have discussions on how the
Okay.
role operates so that
Okay.
it doesn't violate sunshine. So it's not that there couldn't be training for whatever individuals come on board later.
Fortunately, we have a confident relationship to be able to do so. We, you know, we trust each other, we're comfortable with each other, and I would be happy to be available for that and be open to that.
So I think
But as far as policies go, whatever might be helpful, I would be willing to do.
Yeah, I think that would be great to get you really some deep. I think it's hard to take on policy when you first join the board, but with like a year under your belt, I think it'll be both really eye-opening and that important transition. If you are the only one left, policy is what guides every decision.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, that's where
That
I'm
makes sense.
I'm trying to really validate and understand what you're saying, and I 100% do. And I don't want to look like I'm trying to say that I'm any way trying to block what's best for this board.
That makes sense.
I think every closed door creates another opportunity, and that is knowing that we'll move forward with the same leadership, that the experiences that we have are still in the realm of only what we've experienced. I think we need to lean, my suggestion would be, we need to lean heavily into the board framework this year to document, put in place procedure and protocol, if and as necessary, resolution or take action on it, so that I think it's the right thing to do for the administration and any other board members left behind. I, as a community member, want continuity in the board, not only now, not only the next 4 years, but the next 20 years. And if you start to think about these things, because it's the last year, if there's any legacy I leave behind as a board member, it's that I left it better than I found it, and that it is in place to ensure that those that are behind at any point in the future are held to high standards. So
Just to clarify, because I know we changed a little bit last year, so the work of the board framework, I feel like you are spearheading, and I know I worked on part of it, but then I think it was gonna be you and Ryan, and now it's you and Gabe, correct, who are like kind of bringing it and then
Yeah.
presenting it back to the board, because that might ultimately belong in policy. I think we haven't evaluated that yet.
no, we're kind of pausing until after all the committees closed, and then we can have the work session, on whatever the date is, in 2 weeks. And then after that work session, Gabe and I will pick it up to bring forward a proposal. Yeah. So, let's have Jamie Schatzman be the vice president.
Mrs. Zardani, can you please call the roll?
Ms. Bear?
Yes.
Ms. Miller?
Yes.
Ms. Verity?
Yes.
Ms. Schatzman?
Yes.
Ms. Menzer?
Yes. The next item, do I hear a motion to appoint the legislative liaison?
Madam President, I move to appoint one I.
Do I hear a second?
I second one I.
Discussion, although this is an appointment made by the board president, so I would like to appoint Mrs. Schatzman to continue in this role. Is there any further discussion? Mrs. Zardani?
Ms. Bear?
Yes.
Ms. Verity?
Yes.
Ms. Miller?
Yes.
Ms. Schatzman?
Yes.
Ms. Menzer?
Yes. Do I hear a motion to approve 1K OSBA annual membership dues?
Wait, Jay.
Wow. A motion to approve 1J, establishment of 2025 Board of Education meeting dates.
Madam President, I motion to approve item 1J.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Discussion? Mrs. Zardani?
Ms. Bear?
Yes.
Ms. Miller?
Yes.
Ms. Verity?
Yes.
Ms. Schatzman?
Yes.
Ms. Menzer?
Yes. Now we're on 1K. Do I hear a motion to approve the OSBA annual membership dues?
Madam President, I motion to approve item 1K.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Discussion? Mrs. Zardani?
Ms. Bear?
Yes.
Ms. Miller?
Yes.
Ms. Verity?
Yes.
Ms. Schatzman?
Yes.
Ms. Menzer?
Yes. The next item is 1L, OSBA Legal Assistance Fund. Do I hear a motion to approve 1L?
Madam President, I make a motion to approve 1L OSBA Legal Assistance Fund.
Do I hear a second?
I will second that.
Discussion?
I just like to remind everyone here that the OSBA legal hotline does exist. Any of us can call that for free. It is not actual legal advice, but it's very helpful, especially as you dive into policy, for when we want to interpret our own policies or understand how that might be interpreted by a legal team. So I have benefited greatly from that.
Thank you. Mrs. Zardani?
Ms. Bear?
Yes.
Ms. Miller?
Yes.
Ms. Verity?
Yes.
Ms. Schatzman?
Yes.
Ms. Menzer?
Yes. The next set of items are all on the consent agenda, but I'll run through them really quick. 1M, Robert's Rules of Order will be used in the absence of board policy. 1N is the establishment of service fund for fiscal year 2025. According to Section 3315.15 of the Ohio Revised Code, the treasurer of the Board of Education has certified that the number of pupils enrolled in the Willoughby Eastlake City School District is 6,898 as of December 1st, 2024. By law, a sum not to exceed $2 for each child so enrolled, or $20,000, whichever is greater, may be set aside from the general fund to be known as the service fund, to be used only in paying the expenses of the members of the Board of Education actually incurred in the performance of their duties or of their official representatives when sent out of the school district for the purpose of promoting the welfare of the schools under their charge. Item 1O, recommendations by Board of Education to authorize the treasurer to request advances on taxes collected in calendar year 25, to reinvest available funds for calendar year 25 in accordance with board policy, and to pay bills within the adopted appropriations in calendar year 25. 1P, legal counsel appointments, you will see them listed on the agenda. 1Q, Board of Education meeting minutes. Provided the Board of Education members receive the minutes of the previous meetings at least 3 or more days in advance of a meeting, authorization is given for the board to waive reading of minutes at that meeting. 1R, resolution requesting notification. Be it resolved upon the recommendation of the treasurer to approve the resolution requesting that the Board of Education be notified by the tax commissioner of any application for exemption from taxation for any property located within the district. I'm sorry, my computer just froze. 1S is the tax budget for fiscal year 2026. Be it resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent and treasurer that the tax budget for fiscal year 26 be adopted. 1T, resolution for group health, vision, and dental insurance for board members. Be it resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent and treasurer that the board members may participate at their own expense in group health, vision, and dental insurance plans provided to employees of the district. 1U is pre-authorization of advance of funds. Be it resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent and treasurer that the treasurer shall be authorized to make adjustments, transfers, and additional modifications to budget up to update and close each month during the fiscal year to include fiscal year end. 1V, hiring authority. Be it resolved that the Willoughby Eastlake Board of Education authorize the superintendent to employ personnel on a temporary basis between board meetings. We'll now move on to 2A.
All right, we have a lighter crowd today. We're going to take this opportunity, though, and turn our attention this way. January is Board Appreciation Month. And so I'm going to take a few seconds and share a few thoughts. It'll be brief, but I also want to invite members of the administrative team to also come forward and share a few thoughts of thanks and gratitude for the work that all of you have done to move Willoughby Eastlake along. I think public service is hard. I think this is one of the most difficult things to do in this environment. Public service without an agenda, though, where you put kids and each other first and continue to advance learning for the 6,800 and some students I just heard mentioned a few minutes ago. That's authentic leadership. So thank you for everything you do for our community. Thank you for putting students first. Thank you for your public service. And thank you for your ongoing commitment to Willoughby Eastlake schools and our community. As a resident, someone who lives in this community, I'm grateful for the time you give for our families and students. So thank you. That being said, I'm going to invite our administrative team up here to highlight some of their thanks as well.
We look good, Steph. Where'd you get that? Embrace it.
Communications Department.
Oh, good evening. I'm Andy Sattel, principal at South. On behalf of the student, staff, and community of South High School, it is my honor and privilege to be able to celebrate and thank you, our outstanding school board, for your work, your effort, and the countless hours you dedicate to help shape the clear vision for our district. Your leadership and commitment to embracing and supporting innovation has been evident and is allowing us to move forward in so many positive ways. One shining example of this at South is our new Flex courses that we are piloting this year. As you know, our Flex courses are innovative classes where students progress through their work at a pace and depth that is determined by the students themselves. As we are all aware, education is currently evolving. These courses are forward-thinking by providing new and exciting opportunities for our students to personalize their learning and explore their passions, all while developing skills and competencies that will carry them far beyond the walls of our hallways. One only needs to talk to our students in these classes to understand the impact they are having. The ownership and understanding of their learning that our students are able to articulate is impressive. The Flex success is a testament to your vision and to the support you have shown to help us create a bold path for our district. You clearly understand that education is not a one-size-fits-all journey, and you've worked to ensure that our students are equipped for their future. With your leadership, I am excited, and I'm also a community member, to see how transformative we can be for our students in our community. Once again, on behalf of South staff, students, and community, thank you for your support and leadership as we all work to make Willoughby Eastlake Schools outstanding. We are grateful for your service. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sattel. I'm Eric Fry, the principal of North High School, and on behalf of the staff and students at North, I wanted to say thank you to the board as well for your leadership. I've been in my role at North as principal for 9 years, and during that time, there's been a lot of ups and downs, a lot of turbulent times, and some of these board members took very courageous stands when it wasn't easy to do so, and we are thankful for that because we've never been in a better position. And one of those things is, one of those new things that we have are professional learning communities. We have the opportunity for our teachers to meet every week now when they didn't have it before. And when you see the brainstorming and the ideas bouncing off each other in those PLCs every Wednesday morning at North High School, and I'm sure at South High School, the energy that our teachers have now for their profession, it's palpable. And I want to thank the board for your leadership that allowed that to happen.
Thanks, Mr. Fry. My name is Scott Stassa. I'm the principal over at Willow Oak Middle School, and I also want to express my gratitude and appreciation for all of you and your hard work working for all of us and for our students and for the community. And also, including that, I'd like to give you all a heartfelt thanks and appreciation for your support on allowing us to implement the middle school teaming model this year, which has been a huge breath of fresh air for all of us. Very successful start, and it has really transformed what we have in our toolbox at the middle schools. Specifically, consistency with teaming. We have all of our teachers providing consistent expectations to our students, consistent structure in the classroom, which is huge, allowing that to happen with our teachers being on their teams at the grade level. Also, the connections that teaming has brought to our students with staff, as well as staff with staff connections, and having that time to collaborate and to communicate together is huge, and having that time every day for our teachers to collaborate makes huge gains for the momentum that we're having with our students with academics and trying to problem solve together and try to make every day as successful as they possibly can. And also the pride this year that our students have had. We've had more PEP assemblies this year thanks to teaming and just more collaboration and team spirit, so that really has brought that especially to Willow Middle School specifically. And also a huge thank you for allowing us to work with Jack Berkmeyer, who kind of has spearheaded teaming throughout the coast to coast. And so allowing him to work with us has huge amounts of gains, and we have been able to trust the teaming model. We've been able to see the model work with our staff and our students, and also the communication that we have with our parents as well, thanks to teaming. So I want to thank you all for allowing us to bring that, and we will continue to make that better every day and every year to come. So thank you.
All right, thanks, Scott. All right, good evening, Willoughby Eastlake Board of Education. My name is Jim Green. I'm principal at Willoughby Middle School, and I'm very, very excited to be here tonight to thank you for all of your hard work and dedication for the Willoughby Eastlake City School System. In particular, we're very thankful at the middle school level for your support with various experiences ranging from, we have our sixth grade camp at Red Oak, seventh grade attending plays in downtown Cleveland, and also to our eighth grade, all of our eighth grades are going to be visiting Niagara Falls this coming spring. So overall, our experiences such as these that support our district shared vision with a portrait of a graduate, it definitely sets us up, our Willoughby Eastlake students up for success in high school and beyond. So overall, just want to say thank you for your support and looking forward to a successful second half of the school year. So thank you.
One of these days we'll get this microphone raised. I'm going to bring that up every time. Every time, you know, just watch Jim kind of bending over. So, I mean, Andy's poor back.
It's only
so,
a problem at the middle school level, I noticed.
Kind of is. So, I'm Ron Dahlhoff from the principal at Eastlake. So first off, happy School Board Recognition Month, although I think you guys would feel a little happier if this was done in June or July, I'm sure. Yeah, I don't know who picks January when it's what is it, 20 degrees and slushy outside. But anyway, thanks for everything you guys do. One of the highlights I wanted to focus on tonight was really, relationships. And really, I think everybody in this room agrees that relationships are the cornerstone of education. And whether that's relationships administrators have with staff or staff have with students or all the way around, even with, Dr. Ward and the board and everybody that we have. So having the positive relationships are really what makes this place special and that everybody's happy to be at. When we prioritize the relationships, we really create an environment where everyone feels valued, supported, and empowered. And I know at Eastlake Middle School, and I'm sure I speak for everybody, we all feel that's a sense of urgency for everyone. And really just, bringing a sense of belonging to our students, getting them to want to come to school when staff serve not only as educators, but also as mentors, allies, and supporters. So these are all positive things happening, and there's a lot through your leadership. So thank you for everything you guys do.
Good evening, everyone. This microphone is perfect for me. So good evening, and as we celebrate Board Appreciation Month, I want to take a moment to express our heartfelt gratitude for your unwavering support and your commitment to the success of our students. It is because of your leadership, vision, and dedication that we are able to provide meaningful and impactful learning experiences for everyone in our district. This year, we have been especially excited to implement the new CKLA, its Core Knowledge Language Arts curriculum. It's a reading curriculum in our building and in the district, in the elementary. This curriculum, which focuses on building strong foundational literacy skills and has already made a noticeable impact on our students' reading abilities. It not only enhances their phonemic awareness and vocabulary, but it also ignites a love for reading that serves them for years to come. And we've seen it in the classroom when we do walkthroughs and observations and just visiting. You see the meaningful discussions that the kids are having. They're talking about wars. They're talking about things that you wouldn't even think that they would be interested in. But it turns out they really are. So we've had great discussions. And none of this would have been possible without your support. From the approval of the curriculum to the resources provided, and the thoughtful adjustments to our schedule to accommodate this program, your commitment has truly made a difference. The CKLA curriculum empowers our teachers to bring high-quality, research-based instruction to our students, and we can already see the positive results. Our students are more engaged, more confident, and more excited about reading than ever before. On behalf of our entire school community, I want to thank each of you for the critical role you have played in this process. Your investment in both our students and our teachers allows us to keep moving forward with a lot of confidence. It is because of your leadership that we continue to grow and adapt, ensuring our students have the tools they need to succeed. So again, thank you for your ongoing support of our school and all of our schools for supporting the successes of our students. We look forward to continuing this work together. And on a personal note, I just want to say I think this board is fantastic, and I've had the personal relationships with two, and not only as board members, but parents, with Jamie and Stacy, and it's been wonderful working with all of you. So thank you very much.
First off, Ron and Andy, I had to wear my big wedges today just to reach the microphone, so no moving this microphone, please. Thank you. I'm Gina Brown, the principal at Grant Elementary School. I did bring some props here, and that is from students' request. So do I have to ask Madam President to approach? Okay. Okay, so first, I just wanted to thank you on behalf of Grant Elementary staff, students, and families for your continued support and leadership. And because of your support, we are able to implement one of the most innovative programs that Willoughby Eastlake Schools has ever developed over the last year. The elementary STEAM program, which stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, Art, and Mathematics, has quickly grown into every student's favorite class. Students have the opportunity to design, create, and dive into various activities such as, but not limited to, robotics, electronics, engineering, and art projects. And Krista, I do have the iPad with me, so you can play with that later. And so STEAM teachers across all kindergarten through fifth grade buildings have worked together to build this unique curriculum at Willoughby Eastlake that is aligned to state standards. Each grade level has specifically designed real world problems, which teachers and students call PBLs, which stands for problem-based learning. A few examples have been how to waterproof the house, creating field day games, even inventing new tools. I can personally tell you that our students are completely obsessed. Students heard I was just sharing this to the board tonight, the K-5 STEAM program, and they insisted that I brought the robots and personal designs, even one that I am wearing, a student designed jewelry. So the curriculum that the STEAM team developed perfectly aligns with our portrait of a graduate competencies, such as being collaborators and critical thinkers, which is huge, and these experiences are preparing our students as early as kindergarten to be ready for a world that we right now can't even imagine. So we thank all of you. We invite you to visit our Innovation Lab at Grants or Maker Spaces across our district if you haven't seen it yet and see it firsthand. But this is all thanks to you and your support, and we thank you so much. We can't thank you enough. Thank you.
I'm Candace Platt. I'm the principal at Jefferson Elementary. I do not have props for you, but I'm giving you props. Like that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I want to just really thank you, take a moment to thank you on behalf of our entire district and especially Jefferson Elementary for your incredible support of our schools, our staff, and our entire community. I think it was on display tonight through your conversations, how thoughtful all of you are in the decisions that you make, how invested you are, and we cannot thank you enough for that. Thanks to your support, we have really been able to make some exciting changes to our programs and services that, as you know, are making a huge difference. What stands out to me is just how unified we've become around our shared vision for the future, and your commitment, an example of fostering these positive relationships between our students, staff, community has really created a stronger sense of our community here. Some initiatives that I wanted to highlight are the student and parent advisory councils that have given our students and families a meaningful voice. We've also had events like our kindergarten kickoff at each of our elementary buildings and other outreach efforts that have helped welcome new families into the fold and ensure that they feel a part of something special from the very start, which we know is so important. These efforts are helping us build lasting connections that extend beyond the classroom and are setting us up for even more success in the years ahead. We truly could not be where we are without your leadership and dedication. Thank you so much for making Willoughby Eastlake Schools a place where students, families, staff, and all of us feel supported, engaged, and mostly excited for the future. Thank you.
Good evening, I'm Cindy Thomas-Eddy, the principal at Royal View. As we celebrate School Board Recognition Month, I want to express my sincere gratitude for your unwavering support of leadership development throughout the Willoughby Eastlake City Schools. Your commitment to fostering leadership at all levels directly aligns with our portrait of a leader. Your leadership has been instrumental in fostering an environment where principals and teachers can truly develop as leaders. Through your support of the Portrait of a Leader framework, you've empowered us to embrace innovative approaches in education. This initiative has strengthened our ability to lead through change, allowing us to better serve our students and community. Your emphasis on innovation has given us the confidence to be flexible and adaptive in our approach to education. Whether it's implementing new instructional strategies or exploring creative solutions to challenges, your support has enabled us to be truly innovative leaders of educational transformation. Most importantly, your commitment to professional learning has been instrumental. The opportunities you've provided to our staff to engage in meaningful professional development has helped us build a robust professional learning community where teachers and administrators alike can grow and develop as leaders. The Portrait of a Leader, through your support, has become a living framework that guides our growth and development. Your leadership has truly exemplified what it means to prioritize relationships and build capacity within our school community. The positive impact of your support extends beyond the school walls. It's evident in our improved student outcomes and strengthened community partnerships. Thank you for being champions of educational innovation and your dedication to Willoughby Eastlake school success. Your vision and support continue to push us towards excellence.
Hi, I'm Nancy Trace. I'm the principal at Edison Elementary. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Portrait of a Graduate. And Krista, you mentioned overthinking. I don't know if I've ever been on a committee where we overthought words more than we did on the Portrait of a Graduate. But we didn't overthink how many C's. So we're communicators, we're creative, we're critical thinkers, we're collaborators, but they're all so important. And I was asked to speak about Portrait of a Graduate just because, you know, as an elementary school principal, we were like, this is our initiative to talk about graduates? Like, we have kindergartners, first graders, you know. So it was really cool to watch it all unfold and really start with, you know, I always am a big fan of beginning with the end in mind. So it gives us a framework that we can all really aim towards. And I feel it's very, very important, even at a young age. What we're seeing is that, you know, by focusing on the core competencies of communication, creativity, critical thinking, empathy, perseverance, we're helping kids become future ready even at a young age. Students are not just absorbing information, but they're becoming communicators who collaborate effectively, and they're problem solvers who are embracing challenges. Through our CKLA program that Mrs. Pasquale talked about, we're really seeing that opportunity to engage students in different ways in the classrooms, which is great. The emphasis on empathy builds emotional intelligence. We're really getting kids to listen to each other more than ever, you know, understand, support one another. And then critical thinking really empowers them to break down, you know, complex problems, make informed decisions, and adapt to new situations. For teachers, and I would say for administrators as well, and many of us have been around through several regimes of board and administrators, this provides a very much needed framework and a clear direction for all of us. I feel like there was a lot of you know, kind of sailing our own ships, and this gives us a really clear vision and framework as leaders to help students grow across areas. So it's not just about what they learn, but how they learn, and that sets them up for success in the future. So we're building strong foundations that will serve them, you know, throughout their school years and beyond. And again, I think, you know, these things that we see in our Portrait of a Graduate are exemplified by our board, by our administrators. You know, we're all doing these things in real life, and we set a good example for what we want our kids to do. So thank you for all your work.
Hi, Keith Murphy. I'm the principal of NCI Willoughby. I'm going to speak on behalf of Lori Pawlowski too. Sorry. All right. So I just wanted to take this opportunity to express my deep gratitude for the support you give NCI Willoughby and NCI Eastlake. Your leadership is central to the growth and development of the programs that are providing students with hands-on experiences and skills they need to succeed in the workforce. These career technical programs are more than just an educational opportunity. They are pathways to brighter futures for our students. And as board members, your vision, your decision-making, and your unwavering commitment to educational excellence are the driving forces behind the success of these programs. Career and technical education is an essential pillar of our district's mission. It's through these programs that our students gain the practical, real-world skills that enable them to thrive in fields ranging from business and technology to healthcare to construction and skilled trades. These programs are not just preparing students for employment, they're preparing them to be leaders, innovators, and valuable contributors to our economy and our community. On behalf of the NCI Willoughby Complex and NCI Eastlake Complex, I just want to thank you for your unwavering commitment to providing exceptional educational opportunities for all. Thank you.
All right, last but not least, I'm Camille Ritt. I'm one of our special education supervisors, and I have the honor and the privilege of overseeing the day-to-day joy that happens at the Willoughby Eastlake Preschool. So on behalf of our preschool family, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude for your continued support of our program. Your commitment to our youngest learners plays a vital role in shaping their educational journey and fostering a love for learning that will last a lifetime. Our mission is to nurture and guide all preschool children, including those with developmental delays and disabilities, helping them to grow, learn, and to thrive. Your encouragement will continue to help us to build strong relationships with our families and the community, creating a foundation for success both in and out of the classroom. Thank you for believing in the power of early childhood education and for investing in the bright futures of our students. Your dedication and your support truly makes a difference. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause.
I know.
So we heard a lot about systems tonight, and a lot of good systems that you guys continue to steward and nurture. So thank you for that, and happy Board Appreciation Month. On that note, I'm going to do what we do every month. I'm going to let our guest that spoke tonight leave now, but you are more than welcome to stay, should you choose to do that.
Can we thank them for coming out on
Thank
the
you very
first
much
day?
for coming out on the first day
The
tonight.
first day back from break. Thank you.
Much appreciated.
Now it's time to show your leadership. Thank you.
We're watching, by the way. Who's writing names down? Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Have a great night. Thank you. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming out.
What, 3A, public comment. Mrs. Ardani, do we have anyone this evening?
We do not.
Okay, next item is item 4A, legislative update. Mrs. Schatzman.
I'm going to keep it very quick. So last time we left off, we were in lame duck session. I think the most impactful thing that passed was House Bill 8, which people know as the Parents' Bill of Rights. At first glance, I don't think that means we're going to need to change anything because we've always prioritized parents' rights. However, it will go through in the 90 days until it comes to be enacted. It will go through legal review, potentially some challenges, and then we will get some guidance, and then our new policy team will look over the recommendations that we get from our policy provider and figure out what's right for our district. So that was probably the most notable thing. And then today was the first meeting of the 136th General Assembly, where they elected the new speaker and the Senate president, which went as we expected. And then we'll hear who is assigned to which committee in the coming days and weeks, and I will keep you all posted.
Thank you very much. The next item is 5A. Do I hear a motion to approve minutes of December 9th, 2024?
Madam President, I motion to approve item 5A.
Do I hear a second?
I will second that.
Discussion? Mrs. Ardani?
Ms. Baer?
Yes.
Ms. Miller?
Yes.
Ms. Verity?
Yes.
Ms. Schatzman?
Yes.
Ms. Menzer?
Yes. Mrs. Ardani, you're up with the treasurer's report.
All right. So 6A is the financial report for the month ending December 31st of 2024. So we're now halfway through the fiscal year. What we're seeing right now is the cash balance is still continuing to decrease, and it will until the end of January, February, when our property tax collection happens. We're also still seeing a decline in our interest rates, and our expenditures are still below the estimates. And again, most of that, a large portion of that is purchase services that just haven't been either received yet or billed yet. So we'll see those pick up as the school year comes to an end. 6B, we have grant application acceptance. The district was awarded 2 grants. The first is the Ohio Bureau of Workers' Compensation School and Security Grant, in the amount of $40,000. This grant's going to be used to upgrade access controls across the district. So that'll be happening in the next couple of months. We also received the Lakeland Foundation grant for $535. This is going to be used with a new student activity group. They are going to be focusing on hydroponics. So students will be building hydroponic systems, showing the support of plant growth and engineering. And then the grant will pay for the supplies needed in the student activity. 6C, student activity accounts. We have 2 new student activity accounts. One comes from that Lakeland Foundation grant. And then the second is South High Fab Lab. They have a new budget and purpose and goals. They are going to be learning on creating quality products to be sold throughout the community and working with different local charities. So they're planning on raising funds through the resale of the items that they're creating. $60 is gifts and donations. There's a theme this month. Jill Mullen donated a fishing net to South High School. It's valued at $60. Carrie, I don't know how to say the middle thing. Carrie Betts donated artificial lures, rods, reels, miscellaneous gear, and a tackle box to South High School. These are valued at $370. Sean Parker donated artificial lures, rods, and reels to South. These supplies are valued at $185. Another donation by Corey Chatron, however you would say that, of lures, miscellaneous gear, terminal tackle to South High. Those are valued at $412. Micah Nyson donated miscellaneous gear and artificial lures to South. Tammy Groves donated a rod holder. That's valued at $25. Ohio Middle Level Association donated $500 to the 018-9320 account for the WMS Team's Innovative Ways to Promote Learning OMLA Conference. North High Lunch Bunch, class of 1972, donated $100 to Eastlake for their Adopt a Family project. Share a Vision donated $743 for the Eastlake Autism Valentine Dance. And Sereno Photography donated $6,747.60 to be used at the superintendent's discretion.
I want to join whatever's happening at South High because I want to be a better fisherwoman.
Lots of fishing.
I know. Where's the wormies?
Maybe it's ice fishing.
It could be.
Breaking news, it is a fishing club.
Oh.
Fishing club, freshly started at South High School, so a lot of interest in fishing.
That's
I think
awesome.
we're going to
Thank
want to
you.
hear regular
Yeah.
updates on that.
Stay tuned.
Or like taste tests with like maybe like a combination with Chartwells.
Too soon, too soon.
Thank you to everyone who donated. We will move on to Dr. Ward.
Yeah, just 2 quick updates. Happy New Year to everyone. We're excited to begin the second semester. And our steering committees for our shared vision are going to get rolling again here in the second semester, beginning in February. And so we're ready to go.
Keep going.
All right. Item 8A, into Math 6.8, 6-year subscription. This would be an extension of our current pilot math curriculum that you approved last May. We found a lot of success with that program, so we're going to stick with it for continuity's sake. And you'll see that commitment listed here. That cost is spread out over the next several years, and so they were fortunate enough to work with us on that.
Do I hear a motion to approve 8A, Intro Math 6 through 8, 6-year subscription?
I make a motion to pass 8A.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Discussion? Mrs. Erdani?
Ms. Bear?
Yes.
Ms. Miller?
Yes.
Ms. Verity?
Yes.
Ms. Schatzman?
Yes.
Ms. Menson?
Yes.
8B is an exciting new opportunity for students in their junior and senior year, a Spanish 5 course titled Experiential Learning and Advances in Spanish. It allows students who've been with the language for many, many years to now apply that language and explore areas of interest to them and to really put what they've learned into practice. It'll be aligned as one of the new flex courses that will be offered next year. Item 8C would be an MOU with Kent State for College Credit Plus. Item 8D would be an overnight field trip for students in the Spanish program. to the Galapagos Islands in March of '26.
So we want to take Spanish and learn how to fish. Those are the opportunities. in
You
25.
got it. And then 8E is transportation in lieu updated. 9A would be our certified agenda. You'll find on the consent agenda. And then for 9B would be the classified personnel. You'll find on the consent agenda as well. Item 9C would be an update to our supplemental contract schedule as well.
And I think, was there an announced retirement, Mrs. Langer at Royal View? So we're gonna, it's like all the retirements at the end of the year, you're gonna do something for
Yeah,
them,
so
right?
like we did last year, we'll have a reception in April. It was a really nice event last year. Looking forward to doing that again.
Thank you. Item 10A, meeting notification. The next regular Board of Education meeting is scheduled for Monday, February 10th, 2025 at 6 PM here at the Administration Building, 35353 Curtis Boulevard. 11A, do I hear a motion to adopt the consent calendar?
Madam President, I move to approve 11A, adoption of consent calendar.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Discussion?
Just because it's like the last thing, I just want to thank everyone again for all of the kind words and trust that was placed in me tonight, so.
I second that. Thank you very much. Mrs. Zerdani?
Ms. Bear?
Yes.
Ms. Miller?
Yes.
Ms. Verdi?
Yes.
Ms. Schatzman?
Yes.
Ms. Menzer?
Yes.
Adjourn.
Do I hear a second?
I will second that.
Discussion? Mrs. Zerdani?
Ms. Bear?
Yes.
Ms. Miller?
Yes.
Ms. Verdi?
Yes.
Ms. Schatzman?
Yes.
Ms. Menzer?
Yes. We are now adjourned. Thank you.